Difference, it's what you do. Words fall easily from our faces and melt into the ground. Empty words keep resounding, creating a wall of sound. Empty words keep resounding, creating a wall of sound. Hollow promises in every paper, it's yesterday's news. Just yesterday's news.
Well, Jenny, can you describe to us a bit about restorative justice, how it works?
In the restorative justice model, the objective of the exercise is to heal the relationship primarily between the victim and the offender, but also between the offender and the community, and indeed to restore, if you like, the fabric of that community. So therefore the victim's needs and the victim's experience are placed to the forefront, whereas they would take a back seat in the formal justice system. Ideally, if every party were ready and willing to do this, the victim and the offender would have the chance to meet face to face and talk through the reasons, the context in which the crime took place, the reasons behind the behaviour, and the effect on the immediate victim and often on the wider circle that supports that victim. With the ultimate goal, as I said, of reaching a new stage in the relationship between all parties so that the community as a whole is healed.
As well as restorative justice, a lot of your services extend beyond that. Can you tell us what other services you have?
Well, restorative justice, as I say, would be the philosophy that underpins all of our work, but we develop a number of services. Intensive youth support would be an individual package working with young offenders to try and get them to look at how their actions have impacted on themselves, their victim and their community, and how they would address that. We have also a range of prevention programs that we do both within the community and also in local schools. And the idea of that is to get young people to explore again the issues of why young people engage in antisocial behaviour and the consequences it has. And then we have obviously the community support project, which is geared towards the needs of victims and residents in the local community who are experiencing difficulty through crime or antisocial behaviour. We're also involved in a wide range of different network groups and organisations and committees in terms of capacity building and community development within the Shankill.
Success of your organisations?
Well, you know, that's $1 million question. For me, success in terms of how maybe statutory agencies might look at is obviously hard figures. The figures for alternatives speak themselves. Last year alone, paramilitary punishment beatings were decreased by 1/3, and already the previous year they were drastically decreased on previous years. The number of young people that have successfully completed their programme through either meeting with their victim, paying restitution back, and doing something positive within the community as well as addressing their needs. The fact that our community now has something different, that we do not solely deal with problems through a baseball bat or through a gun, that our community ourselves are trying to develop ways out of that and have come up with those models and developed those models, I think is a success in itself. And you know, someone says that you know, we're not going to change the world, but I think what we have done is we've changed people's worlds. We know that we have impacted on individual young people and victims and community members as well. So in terms of, you know, I don't need the government or any evaluation report to tell me whether what I'm doing is working. I see it in the lives of the young people that I work with on a daily basis.